Hey all here, OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the Tranya Rimor. These are TWS wireless earbuds, which are the flagship model for Tranya, and they sell for around $70. Now they may seem like a pretty typical design, but what makes them really worthwhile, at least in my opinion, is they have Qualcomm's aptX low latency chip inside. So 99% of TWS earbuds we've checked out features the regular aptX chip, which is already a pretty good codec for giving you efficient syncing of audio and video, but the low latency, as the name implies, further reduces the latency lag between the video and the audio. So if you're consistently watching, say, action films, then this tries to solve that problem by reducing the latency down to around 40 milliseconds or so, compared to 100 milliseconds, which you'll get from regular aptX. Other attributes, though, are pretty typical. It does charge using USB Type-C, but the battery case itself doesn't offer, say, Qi wireless charging. It has a 10mm titanium-coated driver, which does offer pretty good bass and an overall dynamic sound, which we'll dive into a little deeper later on in this video. It also features touch controls, which do allow you to change the volume directly by double tapping to raise the volume higher and lower. Always really nice to see, and a feature I kind of want to see as standard going forwards in wireless earbuds. We also have IPX5 rating, so you can wear them to the gym. They're sweat-proof, they're going to be rain-proof without any problems, and the earbuds will last for up to 8 hours on a single charge. The battery case will prolong the life to around 32 hours combined when on the road. Now, the final feature, which is kind of interesting, is it has what they're calling environmental noise cancellation. It's not really active noise cancellation, doesn't work nearly as well, but it does cancel out a little bit of background hums and fan noises. That's a technology that you'll also find, by the way, in lots of One More's wireless headphones. So if you've used One More's Bluetooth headsets, you can kind of equate what the experience will be like here. Inside, we have the earbuds themselves, which we'll take a closer look at in a moment. There is a USB Type-C cable for charging up the battery case. We also get some stickers from Tranya that says hello, premium sound, and also the user manual that goes into a bit more depth of how to set it up and use it. Taking a closer look at the battery case design, it is rather pedestrian. It's simple and straightforward, but not really anything too flashy. The entire thing is coated in a soft touch rubber material, which does make it very grippy and comfortable to hold, doesn't attract fingerprints that easily, which is good. It is pretty small, compact, and lightweight, so compared to, say, the Apple AirPods, roughly the same, easy enough to tuck away into a pocket for quick transportation. It is impressive though, because again, the battery life combined is around 40 hours, which is significantly larger than the AirPods and the Redmi AirDots, which are closer to 20 hours. Opening up the case, we have the earbuds themselves with the company's logo, and again, this is the part that's touch sensitive. It is a very sensitive area, so the gentlest of touches will register, and you don't have to press very hard at all in order to control it. And overall, the earbuds themselves are also magnetic, so they can attach back into the case with a satisfying click. So no complaints there. It all feels quite slick. The earbuds themselves are, again, pretty typical and not anything too fancy in terms of the design. It's, again, made out of a polycarbonate plastic, and there is kind of an ergonomic tilt towards the rear that does make them feel pretty snug into my ears. They're not necessarily the most snug fitting in the world, just because they don't have a rubber wing on the outside. There aren't as many rubber accents on here as some more extreme sports oriented earbuds, but they still fit good enough that if you're walking around or going to the gym, they should still stay in place without falling loose. Moving into audio quality and performance, all I can say is I'm very impressed. Starting with the sound, you get a very pleasant dynamic mix. There's a good amount of bass. It's not too heavy, but definitely present if you're listening to drum beats or EDM tracks, and you can always crank it up using EQ apps on your phone. And overall, it definitely emphasizes mids and trebles a little bit more. In particular, these do sound very clean when you're listening to vocals. So overall, if you're listening to pop music, if you're listening to acoustic tracks, these are going to be very pleasant. aptX LL, or low latency, indeed is a great feature to have, and I found that when I was watching back some videos, I could watch the videos for longer durations of time and really not notice them getting out of sync between the left and right sides. The audio and the video were still perfect, so it was really great to use for watching even Hulu, Netflix, TV shows, in addition, of course, just to listen to music with. Finally, again, the ENC does work a little bit, but again, the slight downside of having that feature is it's always going to be turned on. So it does produce a tiny amount of slight noise in the background, just like if you have active noise canceling headphones, you can know the experience, which means that it's not going to be crystal clear. If you kind of pause the music, it's not going to be completely silent. There is still a very faint hum in the background to try and compensate. If anything, I would say that the sound profile on these are slightly more cold and a little bit more neutral than I would expect from consumer grade headphones, which is definitely good. They're quite accurate sounding and nicely tuned. Again, driver size of 10 millimeters is also on the larger side for earbuds. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Tranya Rimor. Again, it's not really the design that's selling these because as far as wireless earbuds are concerned, it's quite a plain overall aesthetic. However, it's everything underneath that's really setting it apart, including the Qualcomm aptX LL, low latency, which is pretty unique as far as wireless earbuds are concerned, even on expensive models. So for this to be $70 could be really worthwhile if you are watching a lot of TV shows. Furthermore, it's just really intuitive and easy to use because of all the controls. Everything is really nicely thought out. Good battery life performance, just a very practical and usable pair of earbuds with solid audio quality. Check out more details, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Tranya Rimor.